Okay, I'm going to attempt an example here of this 6.6 problem, approximating normal distributions to binomial. So we are reading about a study of 455,829 cell phone users, and it was found that of this group, 75 developed cancer of the brain or nervous system. Assuming that cell phones have no effect, there is a 0.000182 probability of a person developing cancer of the brain or nervous system. We therefore expect about 83 cases of cancer in such a group. Estimate the probability of 75 or fewer cases of such cancer in this group of people, and what does this result suggest about the media reports that cell phones cause cancer of the brain and nervous system? So we've all heard that we have to keep the cell phone away from our ears, that it could cause cancer, and here's a study regarding that. So we have a group of 455,829 people. That's our N. Our probability of cancer is our P. And our Q will be 1 minus P. And that's the probability of not getting cancer. To find our mean, we're going to do our N times our P. And that is where they're getting that number of 83. And then the standard deviation is the square root of N times P times Q. All right, so we have a standard deviation. I ran into some rounding problems with this particular problem, and we want to find the probability of x less than or equal to 75. I actually don't agree with the way they're doing this problem because it seems to me that we should start then at 74.5. But when I looked at the example, they actually start with an x of 75.5. So in order to get it right, I'm going to do that. The other thing they do is they change that value to a z-score. And if you don't do that in this problem, you do run into some rounding issues. So I'm going to change this to a z-score. I'm going to do my x minus my mean and divide that by my standard deviation. So that z-score is negative 0.819, so it's lower than we would expect it to be. So now let's go ahead, since we want the area less than or equal to 75, and we're going to use a z-score. So we're going to say equals norm dist. We're going to use our z-score for our x. Our mean now will be 0, and our standard deviation will be 1 since we're using z-scores, and we want it to be cumulative. So we have a 0.2063 chance of 75 or fewer cases of cancer in that group. Let's see if we're correct. And that works. And then it says, what does this suggest about the media reports? And since in the number of cell phone users that we actually had fewer cases than we would expect, then it would appear that the reports of cell phones causing cancer would be incorrect, because one would expect more than 83 cell phone users to develop cancer. The study may offer evidence to suggest cell phones use decrease the probability of cancer. So it doesn't support the theory of cell phones causing cancer. Okay. This one does look like one where you do have to use the z-score to complete it. I'm not sure why they use 75.5. Let me know if you run into any other problems with this section.